Hey everyone, welcome back to Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. Today we're back with another guitar lesson, and I wanted to delve into I Shot the Sheriff, originally by Bob Marley, of course, and then Eric Clapton did it in the early mid-70s on 461 Ocean Boulevard and had a big hit with it. So I kind of wanted to take you through the song. It's a pretty easy song, which is nice, and there is the very famous riff that you have to learn. So I'm just going to basically tell you what the chords are. Then I'm going to play the song and play rhythm guitar along to it, and also play the riff. And then I'll stop that once the song has cycled through at least the main part of the riff. And then I'll just delve into what's going on in the song and what you need to learn in order to play it, and some little tricks in terms of using chord shapes to try to find some of these notes on the guitar when you're playing lead lines. So the chords of the song are very simple, and there's actually only 4 chords in the song. There's a G minor, there's a C minor, then there is an E flat, and a D minor, and then it just goes back to G minor. So there's really only 4 chords there. It sounds like 5, but really I'm just cycling back to that original G minor. The song is a reggae tune, and so one of the things, if you're not used to playing this style, one of the things that will trip you up a little bit is the rhythm style, which is, in reggae, the accents are on the upbeats, the 2 and the 4. So it's sort of like, it's that kind of style. So you know, if you don't play that very often, it's a little weird rhythmically. But eventually, once you do it enough, you get it. And but it is an essential part of playing the song properly. So we've got G minor, C minor. There's an E flat, a D minor, back to the G minor. So I'm going to play the song and demonstrate a little bit of it, including the riff. That. Just one thing to note, when I push play, the song starts immediately. So I'm going to have to kind of catch up a little bit, because I'm not going to be able to push play and start exactly timed right with the song. So here we go. I shot Sherrif. C minor. That's basically the whole song. So again, the chords you've got are G minor, C minor, E flat, D minor 7, but D minor, back to your G minor. And then it's just about getting that rhythm down. Right? Then it goes to the E flat, E flat to D minor to G minor. And then the riff So when you're trying to figure that out, like where does that riff come from? So think about your G minor chord. And then you've got the G minor pentatonic scale, which is right? But there's an extension off of the G minor pentatonic scale. So instead of doing that, you've got then slide. So if you think of the G minor pentatonic scale, that note right there is right in the G minor pentatonic scale. And that's the note the riff starts on. So it starts on that note and hammers into this note. Slide down. Slide back up. It's a cool riff. And the good thing about it too, once you work on that, is you're practicing certain things. Hammering into a note. Whoops. Sliding down to a note. Sliding up. Sorry, screwing that up a little bit. One more time. So, you know, the good thing about learning that riff is that it teaches you various techniques. Hammering on, sliding, both down and up. And then one thing I also recommend is finding those notes on a different part of the fretboard. So if here's your G minor down in this position, but you also have a G minor up here. Same chord, just a different inversion of it. And right out of this chord here, you have those notes. So that's a different place to play it on the neck. So if you were in a band, you know, one person might take that section, but later on in the song, another member of the band might play that. It doesn't really matter. I'm just pointing it out mainly for educational purposes that it's good to figure out riffs in multiple positions. And the chord shapes themselves are anchors for you. So like I said, if this is your G minor, and that's your G minor pentatonic scale, well, and then that extension, slide. So that's where those notes are coming from. They're coming right out of the G minor pentatonic scale, but coming from this extension. And that's right where those notes are. And then the same thing, if you play a G minor up here, that note's right in the chord. So, in other words, chord shapes are your source of information. That is where the notes in a lot of riffs are going to come right out of. So if you're playing an A minor, you can transpose that lick. It's the same exact lick. It's just in a different key, but the notes are derived right out of the chord in these cases. So learning chords in various parts of the neck is super important. It will open up the fretboard a little bit to you, especially once you get to a point where you can start visualizing these So it takes time. You have to learn the shapes, obviously. So I wanted to throw in two more little pieces of information for you that are not necessarily related to the song, but the chords in the song. If you're a beginning guitar player, you might know this E minor shape right here. Right? Down in first position. Well, this G minor is the same as this E minor, just moved up. So if you have your nut right here, well, E minor, half step up to F, full step up to G, and then bar right there, which is actually, this bar is replacing this nut, and you just have the same shape. This E minor, you move it up there and bar, and that's a G minor. So the point is that this E minor shape is movable all the way up the neck. G minor, A minor, B minor, C minor. By using your finger as a bar, which replaces the nut here, you can then transpose this shape into any minor chord you want to. The same thing with this C minor shape right here, or this minor shape. If you play an A minor down in first position, if you're first learning guitar, you're going to learn that chord, C, right? So A minor. Well, the same concept. And you can move this full step up to B, half step up to C, but then you have to bar, and then you just make the A minor shape with these fingers, and that becomes movable. D minor, E minor, F. So the point is that everything is movable up the neck of the guitar. Every shape is movable. You just have to know what strings to bar or what strings to mute. And the reason that is like if you listen to this E minor, okay, that sounds fine. But if I move that up a half step, which would be an F, listen to it. Doesn't sound right. If I move that up to a full step to get a G minor, no, that sounds all wrong. And the reason is you have all these open strings and you have notes sounding out from these open strings that don't belong in that chord. And that's why barring here, then all of a sudden the chord sounds beautiful. So that's basically what the cage system is. It's taking known shapes and transposing them and moving them up and down the neck of the guitar simply by barring or muting the correct strings. And I'll probably do some more videos regarding that. But I'll leave you with that. I hope you'll think about liking and subscribing. I talk about guitars, whiskey, and golf, obviously, all my passions. So if you're learning guitar, I can definitely help you out with that. So I'll just leave you once again with the chords of I Shot the Sheriff, and you can play around with it. G minor to C minor to E flat, D minor to back to your G minor. And remember, the rhythm style is all that sort of reggae style where the upbeat is being accentuated. So I hope that helps. Enjoy I Shot the Sheriff. Pull it out and learn it. And Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. Bye.